Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Hashem, or Kakadash. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Bahashem, Bahashem, or Kakadash. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Kalashai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the lost with our holy tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles. Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a quick sit down lesson of the prophecy updates as of April the 3rd, 2026, on this Friday night. And as we've been seeing, tensions have been heating up once again between Iran and the United States, and Iran versus Israel, especially over there in the Strait of Hormuz, as you have supply chains and importing, exporting, like food, oil, etc. And that kind of affect the routes, those tanks and ships that's supposed to be routed in the Strait of Hormuz. And then you've been having Iran continue to threaten to close it of their adversaries, especially of the United States armies and the Israel Defense Force armies and their allies as well too. Now they have allies, what they allowed them to en route, the oil tanks and global stuff that's be able to go through the Strait of Hormuz in that region, but accept their enemies, So these are oil wars and these nuclear wars be heating up between these nations, especially between Iran and Israel. So I just want to add a side note to that. It says TRT World published 4 hours ago. Trump says downing a U.S. jet won't affect Iran talks. I mean, well, it will affect Iran talks because Iran, they rejected every talks. So it was a news article, I believe, from time of Israel was saying that both meditators, they're trying to push forth a peace talks. I believe Pakistan had set up. I forgot what area it was because it was recently, and then I believe there was a no show. So that shows that the talks between Iran and Israel is dead for now. It's out the window. So Iran, they're gonna continue to use air missile strikes continually on Iran armies. I mean, on the United States armies and Israel Defense Force armies and their allies as well too. It says Iran proxies militants threatening U.S. universities in Lebanon as Americans urges to flee now. 5.8 earthquake hit Afghanistan and Pakistan, killing 8 in the outskirts of Kabul. Right, earthquakes in diverse places. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's in Matthew's the 24th chapter. It says South Korea to deploy Korean Iron Dome system by 2029. It says the Iranian downing a jet could that change the calculus of the war. It says from the national interest, there is no military solution in Lebanon, only a diplomatic one. Right, because we're seeing once again tensions are heating up between Hezbollah of Lebanon versus the Israel Defense Force as a military ground operation is underway of the Israel Defense Force doing towards Hezbollah. So tensions are heating up once again on both sides. So that's another sign of wars and people world. Nations are in perplexity and increasing wars and rumors wars heating up. It says Pakistan and occupied West Bank faces growing violence from the Israeli settlers, right? Because they've been burning villages and areas by those Israeli Defense Force against those Palestinians, which they've been doing that for a very long time. And we're starting to see that increase once again. So that's what you call uproars of people world. And they start interspersed with perplexity. Luke 20, verse 25. It says Iran shot down a U.S. fighter jet and 1 crew member still missing. It says, Miami Herald. It says Russia pounds Ukraine with hundreds of drones, dozens of missiles. Right, because we still seeing the Russian Ukraine continue to heat up still to this day. It says four toddler. Man, that's crazy. It says from the UPI. It says four toddlers slain in a knife attack in Uganda daycare. So, hey, what's that? What you call that? Spirit created for vengeance. Ecclesiastes 39 verse 28. In the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter says, because iniquity should abound, the love of mutual as cold. So that's only going to continue to increase. So these war, evil, and the pestilence that we're seeing in our world is only going to continue to increase. It says Radio Free Europe. It says Iran vows to build back stronger after U.S. strikes and take out major bridge. Right, what's that? Joel the third chapter, let the weak say I'm strong. Hey, so the pro-Iranians, they got that warrior strong spirit in them. And that's what we're seeing. Despite the fact that the United States and Israel are using major bull strikes against them. So you're still gonna have you're still gonna have Iran continue to strike back as well too. That's what we're seeing. It says ABC News reports Middle East tensions surge as Iran downs U.S. jet allies on edge. It said even their allies on edge. It says PBS Online, Russia. It says Russia strikes, Ukraine kills 8 as Kyiv holds door opens for Easter trust. It says a second warplane crashes in the Iran war. White House requests a 1.5 trillion budget, defense budget. It says Iran aircraft carriers in control of Hormuz. Russian attacks Ukraine unidentified peoples and nearly 2 animals died in that fire. Washington Report. The Washington Post. It says the U.S. interest. It says this NATO member won't send Patriot launchers to help American against Iran. I believe Poland, they did the same thing as well too. They're not going to send Patriot missiles. What's that? Ezekiel 17 verse 16. Revelation 17 verse 16. So that's going to continue to increase. It says Zelensky in talks to obtain the THAAD missiles defense systems from the Middle East, growing tensions. Bring out that Matthews, the 24th chapter. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right, that's what we're hearing, wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, so more wars and rumors of wars heating up on a daily basis. And as we see in these economical wars, trade wars, nuclear wars, oil wars, so that's something that continues to increase, and as we're seeing that in multiple categories, especially these nuclear wars heating up between Russia and Iran. I meant to say, let me rephrase that. The tensions are heating up between Iran and Israel, I meant to say, and Iran and the United States, while you got the Russia-Ukraine situation is intensifying as well, too. It says, Matthew 24 verse 6, read again for edification's sake. And ye shall hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but it's not yet. Right, so it's going to come to pass, but not going to end yet. Matthew 24 verse 7, for a nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Right, so we see a nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, increasingly on a daily basis. And there shall be famines and pestilence, earthquakes in various places. right? So we seeing the nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and the increasing famines and pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places right along with it. This is Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth disgressive nations will perplex sea rich one. Right, so that's what we're seeing, disgressive nations will perplex sea rich one, which is going to go continue to increase. It says rescues under, this is from RT.com. It says Ukraine rocked by new multi-billionaire corruption scandal. Russia, I mean, rescue operations underway at the Iran downs two U.S. fighter jets. Right, because earlier today they reported one was down. Now the second one is down as well too. According to American media, two of the three pilots have been located and brought to safety. So I think they got to search one more left in. Iran claims downing a U.S. F-35. It says Iran war is the end of American empire. Hey, what's that? We would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Hey, for in 1 hour that just become. Hey, that's spiritual. He said that. And that's in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, and Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, and verse 50, and at Isaiah 47 chapter. It says EU becomes a greater military threat than NATO, because we've been seeing, the European Union and NATO versus Russia and Belarus that's been heating up. That goes to that Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, because that's a future prophecy that's going to be seen in the making as well too. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 4, while the Russia-Ukraine situation is going on, and the intensity between NATO and Russia. And we starting to see the V-shaped war as well too, of these Edomite nations are being divided now, so more than ever. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 4, it says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company of bucks and shields, all of them handling swords." Right now, we're seeing Russia. Russia is in that warlike mindset because they represent the very Ezekiel 38th chapter. So the Heavenly Father is going to continue to put the hooks and backs and jaws of these Russians being that warlike mindset. And this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 30, verse 5, because you have Russia recently sent more military weaponry and more intel to Iran, and North Korea did the same thing in China. Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 5, it says Persia, which is Elam, Ethiopia, the Cushites, Libya, put all of them with shield of Hammond, right? So all of them before they equipped with shield of Hammond. Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 6, Gomer, which is a modern day of Turkey. In Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togmor of the North Quarters, all the bands made people with it. Now, a couple of days ago, I believe it was the day before yesterday, a couple of days ago, you had the Unites, you had Iran sent their nuclear strike to, Turkey of NATO. They was really supposedly targeting or sending warnings to NATO, because NATO is allies, towards the United States, European, and NATO. So all this is linking up to Ezekiel 38th chapter. Ezekiel chapter 30 verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togmor of the North Quarters, and all his bands being people with thee. Now, even though Turkey is part of NATO, but you do got Turkey support Russia and Iran. So you're gonna have Russia is gonna be a guard unto these nations: Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, and Turkey. Because you got tensions been heating up throughout the years and recently and previously between Turkey and Israel. So keep that in mind as well too. And you got military bases of Turkey over there in Iraq and Syria. Their main target will be going against the Israel Defense Force over there in Western Asia, and definitely particular over there in Iraq and Syria. And this is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 7. It says, Be thou prepared for thyself and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right, so Russia, which represents the bear, in Ezekiel 38th chapter, they're going to be a guard unto Russia. They're going to be a guard unto Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, and Turkey. And this is Revelations 11, verse 14. Revelations 11, verse 14, it says, The second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Right, so the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. So hopefully this was edifying. This prophecy updates as of April the 3rd, 2026 on this Friday night. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son Ba'Shem. In the name of Hamashiach Yahushua, those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Holy Tongue, and I say Barakathon to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim Akbar. Till next time, I would say Shalom. I just seen the moves. What the hell?